I lost 3 days because the client simply forgot to make a phone call. And then they bought a $79 light fixture that I was strongly against, which led to a real language dispute between us. $683 for materials, $1,850 for labor, and a total of $4,635. How did that happen? This story is about how a routine cosmetic renovation turned into a nightmare due to human indifference. You will see a $230 painting that made me laugh. Today, I decided to tell you the story of a difficult room renovation where everything went completely off plan. One day, I received a request for a room makeover, specifically how much it would cost to refresh the interior space. 3 hours after the call, I arrived for measurements to accurately determine the cost of materials and the labor itself. After taking the initial measurements, I asked the clients what they planned to do with the existing items in the room. They told me the old junk would be thrown out and they would buy brand new furniture for the updated space. They also earnestly asked me to restore an old nightstand because it was already 50 years old and had been a gift to the current owners from their grandfather. In this video, I will detail how all of this happened and how much the work cost, as the final sum turned out to be quite large. The room renovation itself was supposed to be simple, basic, and cosmetic. The planned wall color was supposed to be close to what it is now with a white ceiling. New knee crown molding was planned for the top. Laminate was supposed to go on the floor, and stylish black baseboards were to run along the perimeter. Inspecting the old wooden floor, I suggested doing a professional parquet sanding followed by a lacquer finish. The subfloor was well built and nothing creaked when walking. The homeowners immediately agreed to my suggestion, but that was a huge mistake due to the client's carelessness. I lost 3 extra days. The basic cost of materials for this renovation initially amounted to $683, and the master's labor was estimated at $1,850. During the renovation, the price changed somewhat due to a rather controversial situation involving additional work. All necessary materials were supposed to be purchased by the clients themselves and delivered to the site on time on a strictly specified day. The day had arrived when the renovation and complete transformation of the space were officially supposed to begin. Upon arriving at the site, the first task was to completely clear out the room and remove everything unnecessary. Here we see a room with blue and light walls, looking prepared for a move or a major renovation. Near the right wall stands a high stack of cardboard boxes with labels like books and kitchenware. Right in the center of the room is an old, worn blue armchair with soft cushions and a plaid blanket. Against the opposite wall is a massive wooden bookshelf completely filled with books. A nice rug lies on the natural hardwood floor. A warm blanket is neatly folded nearby, and the walls are decorated with a few paintings in heavy frames and small decorative mirrors. Under the window is an old-style cast-iron radiator, and the entire ceiling is lit by a classic chandelier with several glass shades. This old chandelier looks much better than the modern model bought later for $79 at Home Depot. Later on, you will definitely see that new chandelier, which caused a serious conflict and a language dispute between me and the clients. After clearing the room of things, I needed to carefully plan the correct sequence of work, so everything went according to a strict schedule. Next came the standard priming of those spots on the walls, where small holes needed to be pre-filled and smoothed out. Since we were doing a standard cosmetic renovation, we decided not to skim coat the entire wall, but rather to touch up the dents selectively. After thorough patching and completely removing all items from the room, we let the walls dry nicely until the next day. Reviewing all the purchased materials, which included rollers, brushes, and high-quality white ceiling paint, BEHR Premium Plus Interior at $38 per gallon, along with 2 cans of branded BEHR Ultra Scuff Defense paint in a light blue tint at $52 each. I personally verified that the expiration dates were fine and that these were the exact items from my list. The next morning, after the patch compound had dried completely, I thoroughly sanded all the walls where the filler had been applied. I also had to completely remove that old chandelier, which kept drawing unwanted attention and was already starting to get annoying. I wouldn't say it's a completely terrible chandelier. Theoretically, it could have been painted. It could have stood there for years. But even the clients themselves were already sick of it. After that, I had to prime the ceiling, walls, and cast iron radiators myself with a quality primer, as they would all eventually be painted white. According to the technical guidelines of American paint manufacturers, primer application requires a drying time of 2 to 4 hours. And for complete drying before subsequent work, people usually allow a minimum of 4 hours. Because of these construction standards, all further painting work had to be postponed to the next day, and that day turned out to be very difficult. The next morning was supposed to be dedicated to floor sanding using a rented sanding machine. The homeowners had promised to rent it at their own expense, and I had warned them 5 days in advance. I arrived at the site, but unfortunately, they hadn't done it. Even though just yesterday evening, they clearly promised everything would be ready by 11 o'clock. I waited at the site for 4 hours straight, after which I was told the sander wouldn't arrive for another 3 days. It all happened because they simply placed the order for the wrong day. My mood at that moment completely burned to the ground because my tight work schedule was going down the drain due to sheer carelessness. The owners just awkwardly shrugged their shoulders as if they hadn't blown the deadlines, but rather just forgot to buy bread at the store. I had to waste a bunch of nerves on long phone calls with the rental shop where they looked at me like a public enemy. So, human negligence led to an unpleasant shift in all work deadlines. Since painting walls or ceilings is highly discouraged when dust-generating processes in the room are unfinished, all further work had to be put on hold. I should have ordered the equipment rental myself and organized everything properly, but the clients decided to save money and do it themselves, thinking they would get the materials cheaper and rent the sander for pennies. On this wasted day, I managed only to install the decorative crown molding and then went home. 5 days later, I finally finished the entire parquet sanding process and carefully covered the entire floor with protective film. Then I started painting the ceiling using BEHR Premium Plus Interior. During painting work, according to American standards, we maintain strict intervals. We apply the first coat of paint and then, following the technical data sheet, we wait 2 to 4 hours for the layer to dry completely. After that, we apply a second finish coat for ideal coverage. With the same white ceiling paint, I carefully painted the old cast iron radiator as well. When working with professional interior paints, you must strictly control indoor temperature and humidity according to the label instructions. Any violations of the technological intervals between coats can lead to peeling or unsightly blotches. Therefore, meticulous adherence to American construction standards is the key to durability and surface appearance. All tools must be washed immediately with water after painting so they are ready for the next stage of work. Then we wait for the paint to dry completely, and the next day, we can safely move on to the walls. Arriving at the site the next morning, I saw a large sofa outside that the clients had ordered based on my recommendations at that same Home Depot. This sofa arrived right on time. Wait, no. The clients once again ignored my warning that new furniture should ideally be brought in at least 7 days later. This is related to post-renovation curing, as quality lacquer takes a full week to reach maximum hardness. The price of this sofa pleasantly surprised the clients themselves, and they were very happy with the purchase. I will talk in detail about the final design of this room after the renovation is complete. Because of the fresh lacquer, the sofa had to be kept temporarily in the next room so as not to ruin the finish. Let's move on in our process. After the white ceiling dried completely, we moved on to the walls, using 2 cans of BEHR Ultra Paint in a light blue color. According to BEHR's technical requirements, the recoat window between the first and second coats is exactly 2 to 4 hours. After this, the renovation already looks almost finished. But the most important part working with the floor still lies ahead. On the 4th day, we finally get to the parquet. First, thoroughly vacuum the entire area with a powerful construction vacuum. Then wipe the wooden floor with a special microfiber damp cloth to pick up microparticles of construction dust. Apply a quality finish like Varathane Diamond Wood Finish, evenly using a convenient applicator or short nap paint roller, moving strictly along the wood grain. The standard drying time between individual coats is approximately 2 hours until the previous coat is fully dry. According to professional NWFA standards, a light sanding with 150 to 220 grit abrasive is mandatory right before the final coat to ensure perfect adhesion. Then the final coat of lacquer is applied to create an incredibly strong and durable protective layer. The drying and usage standards for the floor are as follows. Walking gently on the parquet and socks is allowed just 6 to 8 hours after applying the final coat. Light furniture items can be carefully moved back into the room after 48 to 72 hours without dragging them harshly across the fresh surface. During this first week, laying heavy rugs and wet mopping the floor is strictly prohibited. After 48 hours, we carefully install the black baseboards using liquid nails, assuming the walls are relatively straight. And as a result, we get this wonderful room design. Everything around looks clean, neat, and professional, after which we can safely move on to furniture layout and decor. Let's finally start with that ill-fated light fixture and install it in its rightful place. The clients bought this item themselves at the store because they liked it immensely, even though I personally suggested a completely different option. In my professional opinion, this is far from the ideal lighting option for such a room. The image shows a stylish black ceiling light from the popular brand Jonathan Y. from their well-known Elise line. Its exact price on the Home Depot website is $79. Next, we install new beautiful curtains of appropriate value. The image shows a Home Depot online store page with the product SunZero Gavin Energy Saving Pearl Polyester. This light pearlescent polyester curtain features built-in grommets for easy rod hanging, designed specifically to reliably block unwanted light and increase privacy. Its price is $16.60 per panel, meaning $33 for 2 ready-made units. Simple light curtains fit these walls very well. After that, we can finally bring in that large sofa. Everything together looks very stylish and modern. We are presented with a large modular L-shaped gray sofa from the well-known brand Magic Home with an additional ottoman and widened soft armrests. This comfortable model features a soft feather down blend, filling for maximum comfort in the popular cloud couch style. It is equipped with practical, removable covers that can be easily washed in a regular washing machine. The current price of this sofa on the Home Depot website is $1,157. The next image shows a fluffy rug in a pleasant light cream color from the brand Jonathan Y. from their Mercer collection. This model features a soft, high pile that creates an incredibly cozy atmosphere and adds special home comfort to the interior. The rug is ideal for living areas with low to medium daily traffic. The product has a convenient rectangular shape and harmoniously complements a modern room renovation in calm pastel tones. Its price is $173. The rug is not cheap, but it is very cool and pleasant to the touch. In the neighboring image, there is a quality square brown coffee table from the brand Bayou Blight with stylish crossed legs. It is made of solid natural wood for durability and features a wear-resistant surface that is very easy to clean from any stains. This versatile piece of furniture can be successfully used as a classic coffee table or a convenient bedside table. Its promotional price on the Home Depot website is $143. Already the situation looks much better, but this one painting frankly surprised me with its high price. The image shows an original framed print called Florence Leafy Whispers by the brand Caden Laurel, created by the talented artist Treechild. The product is made of high-quality art paper and protective acrylic. Its full price on the Home Depot website is a whopping $230. Now let's fully summarize everything financially and calculate our expenses. Almost forgot, let's look at the restoration of that old table. how much did it cost in materials? And let's briefly recall how it was done. First, we take a quality sandpaper set with 180 and 220 grits for a total cost of $12, and thoroughly sand the surface to remove the old lacquer layer. We remove all unevenness and clean it of all dust. This initial stage is critically important, as quality removal of the old finish guarantees perfect adhesion of future paint layers to the wood. Don't forget to wipe down the wood with a damp, lint-free cloth after sanding to completely remove even the smallest dust microparticles. Next, we take a can of quality universal primer, Zinsser Bull's Eye Primer, in a 1-quart size for $32. Also, a Purdy nylon brush for $25. And we prime the piece in 1 coat for ideal adhesion, calmly waiting 2 to 4 hours for it to dry. Thanks to the quality brush, the strokes go on evenly without unnecessary runs on the curves and wooden legs. After that, we take a can of quality BEHR interior paint in a 1-quart size in a nice light beige tint for $38. We carefully apply 1 coat of light paint with a brush and wait again for 2 to 4 hours for it to dry. The first coat serves as a base foundation that sets the right tone for the piece and immediately reveals possible minor surface defects. Finally, we apply a second finish coat of light beige paint for an even, dense coating without streaks. At the very end, we leave the nightstand for full drying and final chemical polymerization for 24 hours. The total cost of the restoration comes to $107. I didn't charge the clients for the labor itself. It was my friendly gift to the owners. Now let's finally return to the general calculations of the entire renovation and room design. Expenses for basic building materials amounted to $683. My labor cost $1,850 of the initial budget, but additional work like painting the radiator, installing the painting, and curtain rods added another $180. That means for the construction part, we have $2,713. All the new furniture bought at Home Depot cost $1,815 in total. Also, let's not forget about the materials for the quality restoration of the old table in the amount of $107. The total budget of this project is $4,635. Whether this is a lot or a little for such a space is hard to say, as everyone has different financial capabilities. Be sure to write in the comments what you would personally change in this design. Do you consider such a total budget too expensive for such a room? A quality Los Angeles room renovation requires significant investments if you order a full turnkey service package. Subscribe to my channel, hit the likes, and stay tuned for more interesting stories about real construction projects.